Mixing a couple crossovers. Got a couple jabs in, a couple uppercuts. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean. I don't have to explain to you guys. What a fun game. I'll be honest with you guys. That's a much better game than I thought it was going to be. Lakers, in-season champs. In-season champs. I don't even have space to try to go under. I don't even have space. Basically, if this was actually somebody else punching me, then I'm done. What a fun game. I'm going to continue to say that. I got to be honest with you guys. This in-season tournament was awesome. I actually really, really, really enjoyed the in-season tournament. And I had no idea that I'd be saying that. But I did. And Lakers topped it off here. Win a game against the Indiana Pacers. It's the 3 that get them on the right side. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Doing a little post-game show action here. I wanted to hear Anthony Davis talk real quick, and he just got finished. And now we have – I need my phone. Where's my phone? And now we have a bunch of stuff to get into. I need this right here. I took a lot of notes here, so I'm going to have to get into these notes here. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. If you guys got any comments, feel free to throw the comments in there. I'll do my best to get them. Super chats. If you got any super chats, I'll make sure 100% to read them. Don't feel obligated to, but if you throw in super chats, I'm going to make it happen. And then we'll talk about, listen, I got to get into Anthony Davis. I got to get into the in-season tournament in itself and get your guys' opinion if this is something that you actually ended up really enjoying. But we'll talk Anthony Davis and just the freaking monster night that he had. I wanted to spend some time talking about Austin Reaves, D'Angelo Russell, LeBron James, some of the role players for the Lakers. The Lakers' last 4 games, how they've looked since they got healthy and they got some of their guys back. I'll spend a little time talking on the Pacers, too. I know nothing about the Pacers, just in the in-season tournament. That's kind of a fun team to watch, too. They don't give up. Spend a little time talking about the Lakers' upcoming schedule. This game, I still don't understand why it didn't technically count in the schedule or in the calendar, in the standings. Maybe just if you win, it should count in the standings, because I don't really know how AD stats do not count, and neither does this Lakers win for the Lake Show. So that's a little bit interesting right there. And then I'm going to close out the show a little bit later. I'm going to spend a little time talking about that Shohei Ohtani deal, the 10 years, $700 million. Looks like the team I root for is never going to win anytime soon. Okay, so let's get started on the Laker front here. I thought just in general about the game, if I'm just talking about the basketball game here, and I'll get into the in-season tournament a little bit, Lakers, it's a good basketball team. This is a really, really good basketball team. The Lakers are looking so much better than they were looking just 2 weeks ago. You guys remember they went on that road trip. Lost one of the games, what was it, the Philly game by 46, I think, the 44, whatever it was. They lost the game against the Oklahoma City Thunder by 20-plus points, and it's like, damn, okay, I understand they got some health issues, but is this what this team is, or are they going to end up being a lot better? They have been, over the course of these last 4 games now, and every game I've kind of gone out of my way to point it out. At each one of these games, it looks like the game against Houston, the game against the Phoenix Suns, the game against the Pelicans, and now this game against the Indiana Pacers. It's a much different basketball team. Much different basketball team for the Lakers. 123-109, the final score. Let's just start with the big one. Anthony Davis was unstoppable tonight. I got no other way to put it. I actually love the conversation Doc Rivers and Doris Burke were having on ESPN's broadcast. They were talking specifically about AD. And you had Doc Rivers trying to explain that, look, he's more of a defensive player. Offense isn't necessarily a big focal point for him. You had Doris Burke coming back, and it's like, okay, I understand that, but how the Lakers are going to win, how the hell are the Lakers going to win if Anthony Davis is not a dominant offensive player? And it was interesting to just watch the game play out because he was incredibly, incredibly aggressive. 24 shots from Anthony Davis, took 13 free throws, I mean, there are plenty of games where I'm talking about that total is over 2 games, maybe even more than 2 games. The fact that Anthony Davis basically came out tonight and did not allow the Lakers to lose this game uh, in an in-season championship. I know it's in season. I'll talk about it a little bit later. How do you equate this? What do you really look at? I do think there's some things that we can take away from the in-season tournament that can be helpful to the Lakers. Kind of shows that if they needed to take their game to another level, they were able to. So that's good to know when you move out a little bit further. Now, granted, the Pacers and the Pelicans, that's not the Nuggets or the Timberwolves or the Thunder or the Sixers or the Celtics or the Bucks. There's a lot of different teams in that play. But AD clearly came out tonight with, we're winning this game. I'm winning this game. There aren't too many games where I see Anthony Davis look into the crowd. I'm him, whatever else he was saying. AD was on one tonight. And Anthony Davis, you could tell, I know there were some moments like, did AD just injure himself? Did Bron just injure himself? Why the hell are we doing this? I had some moments like that. But for the most part with Anthony Davis, it was just the lights couldn't be any brighter as far as the regular season goes. You're the exclusive game on ESPN on a Saturday at 5:30. It's the first time they've ever had an in-season tournament championship game. And AD drops 41-20 with 4 block shots. AD, 41 points, 20 rebounds, 4 block shots. As dominating as a performance as you can have. Especially a player that there's so many other playmakers on the team, so many other players that handle the ball on the team. D'Angelo Russell's got it. Reaves is going ISO or creating for others. Bron is LeBron. Anthony Davis was able to drop 41 and 20. And the Pacers are not a good defensive team. I understand that. But the man was on a mission. And it literally did not seem like anything was going to stop Anthony Davis tonight. He was fantastic. He was dominating. He was engaged. He was aggressive. He was looking into the crowd, running his mouth. That's the Anthony Davis. Look, you might not get that every night, but when you have nights like that, we already know he's going to dominate on the defensive side. We already know the reason why the Lakers are 7th defensive rating in the NBA, which I think is actually pretty good based on some of their circumstances this year with some of their injured players. We know all of that stuff, that the Lakers, the position, the situation that they're in, and the reason why they play such good defense is because Anthony Davis is truly, truly the foundation of the Lakers D. When you have him that aggressive in games like this, I would just say that let's not forget who Anthony Davis is. Let's not forget that he can clearly have moments like this. Yes, there's going to be times where he's inconsistent and it's frustrating, but it seems like whenever AD wants to, he can have nights like this. And tonight he was just remarkable. 41, 20, and 4 blocks. Anybody that, wants to talk about Anthony Davis, anyone that wants to be negative about Anthony Davis, it's all good. It happens. And Anthony Davis is certainly not a perfect player, but not tonight, right? Like tonight should be one of those nights where nobody has anything negative to say about Anthony Davis. He was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant with what he did on the defensive side. Okay, let me get to some of these comments here. I have not read any of the comments. What the hell am I doing? Anthony bleeping Davis, yes. Like he's got it down. He's got it down. He knows what I'm doing. In-season tournament titles: Celtics 0, Lakers 1. I got some room over in this area. Maybe I'll put a in-season tournament banner up. Okay, relax, because I'm already can feel people saying, "See what I don't do? I swear I'll unsubscribe." Relax, okay? No one's putting an in-season tournament banner up. Maybe. If I could find one, it'd be kind of funny. Getting used to winning goes a long way. This is good for the team. Lake Show. Wesley, I think, brings up a really good point. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to emphasize this, and I think every Laker fan will know what I'm talking about. Lakers won an in-season tournament. There's not going to be a parade set up on Monday, and Figueroa is not going to be shut down, and we're not putting up a banner next time Lakers are playing at crypto.com. I get that. I understand it. But I actually do think there's some benefits to this in-season tournament. You can as best as you can, mimic a regular season game that's important, or some regular season games that are important, just to kind of see, okay, hey, can your squad step it up to another level? I know there's benefits to teams like the Pacers, teams like the Pelicans, some of those other teams. I know there's benefits to teams like that because they don't really get the spotlight like this. But I do think tonight was one of those games where I think it also had benefit to the Lakers. Anthony Davis was unstoppable. Let's see what else we got here. I am in the building at the moment. Francis, badass. Badass, you made it out there and you made that happen. Okay, let me get to some more of these. I know we got a ton of AD comments. So let's see some of these. Let's see some of these ADs. Okay, so what do we got here? So I'm assuming here, you know what? I thought maybe because they're doing the trophy presentation right now. Let me see some of this. I thought, and I'm assuming what you guys are talking about is, I assume what you guys are talking about was the MVP. So why don't you guys fill me in here? Because I was on Spectrum thinking that it was going to be on Spectrum. Clearly it's not. So I'm assuming, what are we saying here? Is it Bron got the MVP trophy? Is that what it is? Well, I got to be honest. Bron also had some games. I would have liked to seen it go to AD just because I think AD is the absolute pillar of this Lakers defense. Defense is how I think they won this thing, but I don't know Bron's numbers specifically in this tournament. I would have voted AD for MVP. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with either one of them. To be honest with you, I would like to see, it's not like the world's going to end, but if AD wins the MVP of this thing, I'd be like, okay, I like that more. And I like that more just simply because it's Anthony Davis, and we kind of go from there. AD should have been MVP. Let's see what else we got here. Bron got MVP. Presentation is over. Bron got it. Okay, so everybody's throwing that in there. I appreciate you guys filling me in right there. Well, let me spend a quick second on this. Does it matter? Is that big of a deal? I don't think it is. But I think I would have liked to see AD win the MVP. I think I'm with everybody on that. Now, Bron has also been putting up the stupidest numbers you can possibly think of. Last game, what do you have? The 35-5 in 23 minutes. And that's the fastest that anybody's ever got there or has accomplished that in the history of the NBA. He's had plenty of games where we're just kind of sitting back and saying, well, what is this dude doing? How is he possibly doing this? So I do think there's a little bit of, okay, well, Bron won it. I don't think anybody's going to argue with it. What did Bron have tonight? 24, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. So Bron was good the entire way. Literally the entire tournament, he was fantastic. He was amazing. If you're just watching tonight, AD, if I had to give it one of those guys, I give it to AD. Yeah, if I had to give it to one of those guys, I think I'd give it to Anthony Davis because he's such a pillar on the defensive side for the Lakers. Such a pillar on the defensive side. Now, I'm also might be talking out of my ass here because I can't remember off the top of my head what some of his numbers were in these last couple of games, but I think Lakers are winning these games because they play defense. The game against the Pelicans, let's see what Bron and AD had. I think I mentioned that was the 30. AD had 16 points, 15 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 block shots. Just what AD does. That's just literally what AD does. But Bron was putting up the 30 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds. Okay, let's go to the game before that, which was, if you guys remember, that was a game against the Phoenix Suns. I think that's the game that Bron dominated again. Let's see what Bron did. 30, didn't he have 31 or something like that? Bron had 31, 11, and 5. AD had 27 and 15. Damn. Both of these guys are neck and neck. But if I had to pick one, I'd go Anthony Davis. I'd go AD. That would be the player that I would pick in this. If I had to pick who was the in-season tournament MVP, Bron was amazing. Bron is ridiculous. What Bron's doing at this age is unbelievable. Literally all his numbers, but AD was such an anchor on the defensive side for the Lakers that I think, that's obviously incredibly important. That's incredibly valuable too. And certainly everything else that comes with that. But isn't that kind of fun? Um, isn't that kind of fun to kind of be in this position where we're actually even having a conversation like this? Isn't that kind of fun for us to sit here in December and be debating about something that is it's meaningless in this sense. It's meaningless in the sense is that it literally doesn't count towards your regular season, and the stats don't even count, which, by the way, they should change that. What the hell are you having this in-season tournament game for if that's the case, right? Like you're already doing an in-season tournament. You're already putting yourself in a position where you're trying to promote this thing. Give some incentive for those that are coming in here and, obviously doing everything they possibly can to make it happen. All right, I'll read some of these comments here. A lot of comments coming in here. Oh, I like that. That's actually, there's the solution here. Let me see here. Look, there's also this LeBron easy MVP. Somebody had co-MVPs on here. I can't find it. That's not a bad idea. A little co-MVP action. List, it's LeBron. That's fun, actually, to even just have this conversation, I think is interesting. Okay. I got a couple other things that I want to get into. Bron MVP, AD hot last game, MVP, but LeBron got the tournament MVP. LeBron was better throughout. I think we undervalue that defense from Anthony Davis every night. That literally, I think takes the Lakers to a completely different level. But you can't go wrong. I'm not going to sit here and bitch and complain about who won MVP for an in-season tournament where they don't even count the stats and they also don't count the actual record. That actually bothers me. Okay, I got a couple things that I want to get into here and took a couple notes here. AD was a beast if you're just tuning in right now. Appreciate everybody, by the way, being a part of the show. Over 500 right now in this live stream. Thank you for doing that. Please subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. By the way, and you could tell that this is not just a regular game. It continues to have the hype behind it. You know who very quietly had a very, very, very big reason of why the Lakers won this game tonight? Austin Reaves. How good does Austin Reaves look right now? Remember when the season started, Austin Reaves dropped 28 tonight. He was 9 of 15, got to the free throw line 12 times, was 10 of 12 from the free throw line. Austin Reaves has moments, and it's like these guys take turns, which is why it's going to be so tough for teams to beat the Lakers. And look, we got to see a lot more from this Lakers team. It's just a really, really impressive 4-game stretch, but I don't think it's a coincidence they're getting healthy. Vando's all over the place. Cam Reddish is all over the place. They got options. They play Torian when they need to. Max Christie's getting opportunities. Interesting to see Max Christie get some more opportunities too. But do you remember beginning of the season? What's wrong with Austin Reaves? And then the Lakers decide, let's bring him in off the bench. Even off the bench, it was like, okay, hey, guy clearly does not have his legs under him. If you were questioning his, he got paid, this and that. I never thought that was going to be an issue. Austin Reaves is a basketball player, loves the game. That's all he wants to do. So I wasn't ever questioning that. But there was also, hey, our team's catching up to Austin Reaves. Our team's now saying, look, this man is a good enough player for that team that he's got to be on the scouting report. And if he's on the scouting report, we got to pay attention to him. What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? What is this? What is that? Austin Reaves looks as good as I've seen Austin Reaves, at least through this short stretch. He looks comfortable coming off the bench. He's still going to play close to 30 minutes a game. He's cooking too. He has space. A lot of these defenders, he's very shifty, able to go left, able to go right. kind of a slow motion when he needs to be, burst of speed when he needs to get to the basket, knows how to draw fouls, knows how to get spaced and hit that 8, 10-footer, 12-footer, whatever the case is. Reaves had 28 tonight. So as much as I want to sit here and highlight Anthony Davis's 41 and 20, by the way, with 4 blocks, as much as I want to praise what LeBron James did this entire tournament with his 24 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, shot 50%, close to 50% from the field. Austin Reaves had 28. That's really freaking impressive. Doesn't need a lot of shots to take it. I don't know how you guys feel, but he is looking so much better than he was 30 days ago. And so effective. And when the Lakers, this is, I think the killer for the Lakers is D'Lo had a stretch where he hit a couple buckets in a row when the Lakers were struggling. And if you're the Pacers, you're like, well, if he's hitting shots, what are we going to do? Or if LeBron and AD, you're spending so much attention trying to stop them, and then here comes Austin Reaves with a quick 6 points on his own or gets to the free throw line. Big shots from Cam Reddish at timely situations. Taurean Prince finding moments to contribute for the Lakers. How you stop them? And they play defense. They got a couple super chats I'm going to read right here. If you got any super chats, throw them in, and we'll get to them. For the entire tournament, LeBron averaged 27, 7, and 7, and 60 on 60%, 60% from 3. AD had a great game tonight, but come on now. Hey, anybody making a case for LeBron James for MVP, no one can really argue against it. All I'm saying is Anthony Davis on defense is as good as whatever anybody does on the offensive end every night. And we tend to just skew more towards the offensive player than towards the defensive player. Now, Bronze also has some boys. A game against the Pelicans, he took 3 charges at freaking almost age 39. So you're not wrong. And no one's going to be like, hey, that's BS that LeBron got the MVP. Go look at his numbers. Go look at his efficiency and everything else. I don't know of another player right now in the NBA that's as good as Anthony Davis on the defensive side. And you get stops and you play defense on the defensive side, your chances of winning games skyrockets. And it also makes everybody else's life a lot easier. So I don't think you could say, well, AD only had one good game. AD's been dominant on the defensive side, period, point blank. And then he also has the ability to go get you 40 points. By the way, these are the arguments I like to have. These are the conversations I want to have. I want to have conversations of AD or LeBron for MVP. Those are the conversations I want to have. And I'm the first one to tell you, what have I been saying on these shows or on my radio shows? I spend a lot of time sitting back and saying, okay, well, LeBron steps on the floor. It's Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. Bron's still the best player on that floor with all those players. So I'm not disagreeing that he's not, obviously as great as he is. Okay. By the way, Cyclones 1055. Appreciate the super, brother. Let's get another one here. Kratos. Great win. 100,200 years from now, when everyone is long gone, people will still remember who won the first. Being immortalized is priceless. I'm still trying to figure out, and I think it's impossible to get the answer on this. I'm still trying to figure out that if this in-season tournament is as big as it is or was as popular as it was, because it's the first time it's ever been done, and this was new to everybody, and because the Los Angeles Lakers were also in it. I mean, in the Final Four, you had Giannis, you had Dame, you had Bron, you had AD. So you had some, obviously you had some big names there, but it's here to stay. Let me actually let this be part of my next dialogue, my next conversation. The in-season tournament was a massive, massive success. Period. I mean, I have a difficult time of anyone arguing against that. We talked about it. It was on our radar. There were exclusive games. There were great telecast that merged ESPN and TNT together. I thought it was massively, massively successful, but I don't think it's perfect by any stretch. I do think there are a lot of things that need to, or a few things that I think would be smart to change in this whole thing. Okay, and this is what I mean by that. Should the Lakers get something more than here's your in-season tournament championship and here's 500 grand? And by the way, can they stop selling us on the 500 grand? I'm not getting 500 grand. You're not getting 500 grand. Can they stop telling us, well, they're really going to care because they're going to get $500,000? The league average in the NBA is $10 million a year. I don't think you're going to get people that are fans of the NBA. I think they got to stop selling them on the the guys are playing for an extra 500,000. Well, why do I care and why do you care? Now, if the product is better, which I think it got better, if the games were more competitive, which I think the games were more competitive, I think all of that stuff definitely helps, but I don't understand they're getting 500,000. What would have been cool is if there was another incentive that the Lakers can't get worse than an in-season tournament bid. Tyrese Halliburton, who, obviously got to the finals, was a tremendous player. We'll talk about what the Lakers did to him on the defensive side. But Tyrese was talking about before the tournament started, he's like, hey, whoever wins this thing, give them a playoff spot. That means you're giving them 1 through 6. Maybe that's a little bit aggressive. Michael Thompson, who I do the pregame show with, Michael says, yeah, that's what he wants to see too. He wants to see the 2 teams that get in. If you win the in-season tournament, at worst, you're number 6 in your conference. If you get the runner-up, at worst, you're number 10 in your conference. I'm down to increase it. I just don't know about I don't know if automatic bid to the playoffs is the right way to do it. Bargain shopper. Do we deserve a parade? Bargain shopper. No. There's no parades here. Come on, bargain shopper. You know they can't do parades. Easy 909. Thank you for the super brother. Shohei Ohtani is a Dodger. That is correct. I'm going to talk about that at the end. Arguably one of the biggest sports stories in the history of sports, in my opinion, with Shohei staying in Southern California, but going to the Dodgers. Very good point. Cyclones 1055. Slee, can we get the show on the Apple Pod? So I just started putting it up now on Spotify. Apple is next. I got to do Apple and I think Google as well. So I'm working on that. I'll make that happen. Thank you for the advice there, and I appreciate the super. Okay. Let me see some of your guys' comments here. LeBron was consistently better than everyone else. And yes, AD was great, but the plus minus for LeBron this term was obvious when he wasn't in the game. Doyle, I appreciate you giving your thoughts there. That's funny. I didn't know so many people were going to be so passionate about who wins the MVP in, obviously in this whole mix for a playing tournament game. Okay. Could I say something real quick too? Look, here's some people. No on the automatic bid. Lakers are a new target for the rest of the league. Lakers are a target for the league no matter what. So you definitely don't have to worry about that. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I disagree with Mike on that. First will become more important once elite teams focus on trying to win both trophies in 1 year. I don't know about that either. I mean, is that essentially what you're getting? Just to kind of give everybody an idea, essentially what you're getting is you're playing an extra game. Yes, you're getting some extra cash. I think if you're looking for it from we want the exposure, we just want to win this tournament because who cares? We'll be playing one extra game. Maybe you're just super competitive. And I do think the Lakers approached the in-season tournament, it felt like from the beginning, as if it was more important than maybe other teams did. I don't know how other teams approached it, but the Lakers, their plus minus in the in-season tournament and the group play was ridiculous. So they were certainly felt like it was important to them. Okay, one other thing I'm going to point out here, and I know you guys aren't going to, or I think you guys are going to understand where I'm coming from this perspective. Tyrese Halliburton has been a beast. Let me take a step back here. Coming into this game, the Lakers started really winning games and looking incredible, looking really, really good. And I think that started happening once the Lakers started playing some defense and they got their health, they got their guys back. So they were on that road trip, the 4-game road trip. When they played the Thunder, this was about a week and a half ago. They played the Thunder. Okay, what did that look like against the Thunder? No Cam Reddish. I almost said Cam Newton. No Cam Reddish. No Jared Vanderbilt. No Rui Hachimura. No Jackson Hayes. No Gabe Vincent. All 5 of those guys were gone. Then some of these players start trickling back in that Rockets game. You get Cam back. You get Vando back. And Hayes back. Lakers give up 97 points against the Rockets. Then they're all basically back but Gabe Vincent in the Phoenix game. Phoenix game, Rui comes back. They give up 103. Then they take on the Pelicans in the last game. They give up 89, 59 in the final 3 quarters. And then in this game tonight against the Indiana Pacers, and this is going to lead me to Tyrese Halliburton, how great he was all tournament, and then look what happened to him tonight. And then this game against the Indiana Pacers, Lakers give up 109 points to the best offensive team in the NBA. Let me give you guys the numbers for the Indiana Pacers in their last few games against all good teams. They played Miami at Miami. Indiana dropped 144. They played the Bucks in the they played the Boston Celtics in the quarterfinal game. They scored 122. They played the Bucks in the semifinal. They scored 128. These are all good defensive teams in the NBA. And they're putting up 144, 122, 128. They played a couple games prior to that, another game against the Heat. They put up 132. Indiana scoring. They got 8 guys that average in double figures. So I know you might look at the score and say the 109 and say, oh, well, were Lakers really all that good on defense? They were excellent on defense. They were. Here's another gauge of why they were. And Indiana's just a really good offensive team, and you held them to 109. I think that's pretty impressive. But here's another reason or another kind of barometer of why the Lakers were so good on defense tonight. Tyrese he didn't have an awful game. By no stretch did he have an awful game. He was definitely getting going in the second half, but he had 20 and 11. What did he end up having? 3 turnovers, only 2 of 8 from the 3-point line. Tyrese Halliburton has been mopping up guys in the NBA. And in his last 2 games, he had 28 assists and 0 turnovers. Tonight, he had 11 assists and 3 turnovers. So I think the Lakers, with guys like Cam Reddish, with guys like Jared Vanderbilt, it's just a different team. The length, the size. I remember last year in the playoffs, there were times where it looked like the Lakers, when they would play the Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors, it's like, how are you going to beat them? They got too much size. They got too much length. They got too many weapons on offense. AD can go off. Bron's going to go off. Reaves can go off. D'Lo can have a big game. They just had too many weapons. This is a better version than whatever that version was, because they have more length now. They have more continuity together. Some guys just have more confidence in their game. I think they have the ability to, like I mentioned, kind of take their game to another level. But the defense on Tyrese Halliburton, I thought was good, and it was much more. They made his life a lot more difficult than I think any of those other 3 teams, who are really good teams, have made it. Just let me take those 3 teams. Miami was in the finals last year. Boston and Milwaukee are picked to be 1-2 in some shape, way, or form in the Eastern Conference. So the 109 I thought was really good defense from a Lakers perspective. Trying to think here. What was the other? I had one more point that I was going to make. I was talking about the Pacers. I will say this about the Pacers. That's an interesting team. Good for them. Every time you looked up at the score and you're like, Lakers only up 8. Feels like they should be up 14 points. And for the longest time, Lakers couldn't get it past 11. And Pacers even got it down to, I think, 3 or something like that. Every time I felt like the Pacers had a chance to potentially get over the hump, they would miss a shot and Lakers would hit a big shot. I think it was Cam Reddish that hit that big shot when it came down to 3, got it to 6, and then instantly, before you know it, it was up to 10 again or 8 or something along those lines. And a lot of that just had to do with Lakers making big plays or getting a stop. But I give the Pacers credit. I'm not somebody that is obviously following the Indiana Pacers too much. I thought they were a very, very nice team, and they got a long way to go. I don't think they're going to go represent the East, but I definitely think they were legit tonight. They were really good. Crypto Ray in the house. Thank you, brother. Crypto Ray, great listener on 710 ESPN, part of a lot of different stuff that we do. So I appreciate you joining the live stream here, brother. All right, let's see what else we got here. Quick little super here. Chris Tiger. So does this count as LeBron's 5th ring? No. And you know who'll be the first one to tell you that? LeBron. LeBron would say, of course, it doesn't count as my 5th ring. Okay, let's do this here real quick. Let's do a little roll call. If this is the first time you've been on the post-game show here. By the way, it's like 6 years making it happen on this post-game show. Enjoy doing it. Love doing it. Love talking Lakers basketball. Love talking Lakers basketball with all of you guys here. Roll call is very simple. I just give a shout out to those who are you tell me where you're tuning in from, what city, what state, what part of the world that you're in. Obviously, there's Laker fans everywhere, so I appreciate you guys being a part of the show, and I'll do my best to read some of these. Also, I want to make my picks here real quick. So we do this. Maybe I should pick some football games tomorrow. Underdog Fantasy. Oh, I already picked the wrong corner. Always pick the wrong corner. That corner up there. Underdog Fantasy. They're a partner here on my YouTube show. And it's the first time I've ever had a partner on the YouTube show, which I'm very, very proud to have Underdog Fantasy a part of it. So look how easy this is. Basically, it's DFS, which is Daily Fantasy Sports. Great way to watch games. Great way to, obviously, I guess you could say, add some action to the game. I always make my 2 picks when I'm doing post game here. Got my pick 'em right here. There's an incentive here. If you put the code HoopsLA, get a $100 deposit match. So you put in $50, they'll match $50 right there. So you have $100 in your account. You have $50 free to play with. Put $100 in, they'll match $100. You have $200. Get an extra $100 to play with. So I'm going to actually do some football here. So I do pick'ems. Pick'ems the easiest one to do. I'll do pregame just because there's basically no games that are actually happening. Let's do NFL. Why don't we switch it up here a little bit? Do a little NFL action. I'm going to collapse it so I could pick which game that I want. Let's go Philly Dallas. Yeah, good game right there. Philly coming off an L. Good NFC matchup. Jalen Hurts at Dallas, higher or lower than 254 passing yards. I'm going to go lower. I know, but relax. Just make my picks here, okay? All right, let me find a big one on the other side. Let's go Dak Prescott. 301 passing yards, higher or lower. I'm going to go lower there too. Look at my boring ass going lower on both. Put $20 in. If I get these 2 picks right, pays out $60. Please put that code HoopsLA in, and your picks will be submitted. Okay, I got to resubmit my picks. You guys get the point. HoopsLA, use HoopsLA, and we'll make it happen from there. Okay. Read some more of these comments here, and then there's a few other things I want to get into. And then we'll do some of your roll call here. Arthur Johnson, does the run-up get any pay? Runner-up, yes, they do. Is Rui and Christian Wood in the doghouse. Okay, so real quick, runner-up does get paid. I think $200,000. Runner-up gets 200,000, and then the winners get 500,000. Is Rui and Christian Wood in the doghouse? To be honest with you, Christian Wood has not been getting any PT. And look how many guys that the Lakers are playing, and he's not getting any run. I don't know if he's in the doghouse, but I do know this. You got to play defense if you want to be on this team and you want to contribute on this team. And Christian Wood, I got a chance to interview him during media day. And he said that he's played for 8 teams in 8 years and has never made the playoffs. And that the most important thing for him was to make the playoffs. I'm surprised he's getting zeros in playing time, but it will come around. He'll get called upon at some point, and hopefully he's ready to go, and then he could probably earn his way back in. Rui, you're right, too. Only played 10 minutes or so. So Rui will get his opportunities, too. They're trying to win games. I can't hate on them trying to win games. I can't at all, and if it means Rui's getting less PT because there's other players that are more effective, Taurean Prince, Jared Vanderbilt, Cam Reddish, whoever it is, Jackson Hayes even got some, obviously some minutes, then I can't hate on them for trying to win. Okay, let's do some roll call here. The great Metropolis, Gotham City, Awesome Powers. Appreciate the super, brother. Let me get to... There are so many here. How the hell am I going to get to them? El Monte, California. Little Italy, Las Vegas. Guadalupe in the house. Anaheim in the house. Nigeria. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Abu Dhabi in the house. These are some of my favorite ones to read, is when you got people that are international. They're obviously Laker fans. This is the beauty of YouTube, that you can connect with so many people all over the world. And that's a beautiful thing. Wilmington in the house. Thank you for being a part of the show. Minnesota, San Pedro, Santa Ana. I'm actually going this way on my chat because it's impossible for me to catch up. Toronto, Canada in the house. Man, did Toronto, Canada think they had something special a couple days ago. Actually, it was just 24 hours ago. By the way, there was so much going on with the whole Ohtani stuff. Virginia Beach, California. I'm going to get into that in just a second. Santa Fe, New Mexico in the house. Appreciate you being a part of the show. Redondo, thank you for being a part of the show. Another one here from Toronto, Delaware, Colorado Springs, Brooklyn, New York, Australia in the house. Badass. Uganda in the house. Come on, guys. San Antonio, La Jolla. Love it. Everybody from everywhere here. Okay, did I get to most of them here? Los Angeles in the house. Okay, if I miss you, feel free to throw it in, and I'll do my best to get you there. It feels as if Wood is in the doghouse. Let's see what else. Atlanta in the house. Appreciate you being a part of the show. Al, I miss calling into ESPN after the show. Appreciate the super. You can still call in. They're doing their thing over there too, making it happen. Call in anyways down there. Appreciate the super there. Slee, we are the first to do it. Seattle, Washington. AR. Damn, my brother. Wow. Thank you for the super. That's big time right there. I greatly appreciate that. The Lakers are the first to do it. And shout out to Seattle, Washington out there. Thank you, AR. Very kind and nice of you. By the way, you're throwing supers on here. You're not throwing supers on here. I appreciate you all doing what you guys are doing. So thank you very much, AR, for that. That means a ton. That means the world, brother. Okay, someone's in Lake Arrowhead. Should I go tomorrow? I was going to go, but I don't think I'm going to go. Tucson, California, Philippines, Arizona, San Antonio, Texas, Las Vegas in the house, Jersey in the house, Jamaica. I can't get an invite. My favorite genre of music is reggae. I listened to reggae for probably 6 hours today, putting together a desk. I put together a desk today. It's actually a pretty decent desk. I felt like when I was done, like I built a house, like I built a home, that I had to go get permits and I had to set a foundation of concrete. All I had to do is screw a couple of things and flip through 3 pages to put it together. I felt like I built a home. That takes me back to Jamaica. Jamaica, I was listening to reggae music all day. Throw me an invite, my brother. I appreciate you tuning in, Jamaica. Thank you very much for doing that. Okay, if I miss you guys, my bad. I'll try to do my best to make it happen. Columbus Crew, MLS champions. Okay, there's an MLS one. I thought they were actually shouting out. What was that game? 2-1, something along those lines. Okay, Seaside Company. I appreciate you all being a part of the show. Okay, a couple other things I want to get into. Damn. AR, really, really appreciate that, brother. That's very, very, very nice to you for that super right there. Okay. Next game for the Lakers is coming up on Tuesday. They got the Dallas Mavericks. So Lakers and the Mavs. So Lakers right now are riding a 4-game winning streak. You can't count one of them because it's the in-season championship. In-season championship does not count towards your regular season schedule. So I guess, what do I say then? It's still a 3-game winning streak. So all the stats that Anthony Davis put out, isn't that something? AD puts the stats that he puts, that's the 40 and 21, doesn't go towards his regular season stats. Of course. Why not? Why not do it any other way? So that's BS that those stats are not going to go towards his regular season. They got a game coming up against Dallas. And listen, I think I've mentioned this to you guys a couple of times. The Lakers, I feel like, are in the middle of a stretch where they're going to start balling out. And they already started. Rockets game looked good. Suns game looked good. Even though Suns game was a battle. Pelicans game, they won by 44. And then this game against Indiana controlled the entire game. I'm not saying it wasn't close, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the Pacers, but I never really felt like the game was in jeopardy. I never really felt like, hey, Lakers are going to lose this game. So I never really felt that. But put all that to the side here for a quick second. This is what the Lakers got coming up. And some of this is a real opportunity to kind of start winning some games. You're at Dallas on Tuesday. Mavs do not have Kyrie Irving. He hurt I can't remember his leg, his ankle. I don't know what it was, but I know he hurt himself in the last game. So Kyrie's not going to be playing in that game. You should beat the Dallas Mavericks at Dallas. You have 2 games after that, Wednesday and Friday at San Antonio. Do you guys know what the Spurs are doing right now? The San Antonio Spurs have lost 16 games in a row. So it's, the promise of Victor Wembanyama, I think he is the youngest player to have a 20-20 game. That happened recently. They've lost 16 in a row. You better win those 2 games. And then after that, you come back home. Got a game against the Knicks. Then you go out back on the road and play at Chicago. These next 5 games or so, all of them, very winnable games. Some scenarios that benefit the Lakers. So I hope the Lakers take advantage of it, because in the rest of the month of December, you still got at Minnesota twice. You got at OKC. You got New Orleans in New Orleans as well. You host the Boston Celtics. You got a game against the Miami Heat, or that's in January. But they got some very winnable games, and then they got very tough games that I'm a fan of, and I think we're all a fan of, because we all want to see how the Lakers obviously are going to do on that front. Okay, let me read a couple more comments here, and then I'm going to get into. I do want to talk. I told you guys a little bit earlier. I want to talk a little bit about the Shohei signing. I will be in the game Wednesday in San Antonio. Okay, heavy foot performance. Thank you for the heads up there, brother. Go get us a couple W's when you're out there. Any chance of getting a sneeze tonight? It's a really good question. I just don't think I have it in me tonight. You know what I mean? Just don't think I have it in me. Let's hang a banner for NBA Cup champ. We were talking about it on the radio. Where should it go? Where should the championship go? Whatever that cup, that trophy is, just make it very simple. Put it in the Lakers training facility. Make sure it's nowhere near the other championships, the ones that the Lakers have 17 of them. Make sure it's nowhere near that, but display it somewhere at that Lakers training facility. Just don't put it next to the real trophies, the 82 game grind trophies. Torrance, thank you for being a part of the show. See what else we got here. Barbados, appreciate you being a part of the show. Badass Barbados, you kidding me? Somebody's asking if we get tacos. Okay. Question. So all the stats. Final one I'm going to read, and then I'm going to get back into what I was doing a little bit earlier. As far as I mentioned the baseball stuff. Question. So all the stats for tonight's game will not be counted. They won't be counted. The win won't count towards your regular season. Neither will the regular season stats. Or neither will the stats go toward your regular season stats. So that's just the way that they set it up, is what it is. Nothing you could do about that. Okay, final thing that I want to get into. Shohei Ohtani. I know this is random, but it's obviously very, 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 very big news around the sports universe. And it's not something that's just a local thing or a Southern California thing. This is not even just a national thing. This is international news here. I was doing my radio show yesterday on 710 ESPN, doing the show, and there was a lot of conversation and chatter that, hey, Shohei's probably going to sign on to the Toronto Blue Jays, and he's probably going to make the announcement on Instagram. And there were some reporters out there that jumped the gun. There were some reporters out there that said, this dude's already on a flight to Toronto. He has not signed a deal yet, but he's going to Toronto. So I left my radio show around 1:15 yesterday. Like, damn, that's crazy. Shohei is going to pick the Toronto Blue Jays. And I said in the past, for me, him signing with the Dodgers is not a surprise to me. It's him signing anywhere other than the Dodgers I felt like was going to be the biggest surprise. So obviously the news came down today. Shohei is signing a 10-year, $700 million deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's crazy. It's as big of a sporting breaking news thing, item to go down that I think I've ever been a part of in the world of sports. And this is, kind of think of all the big names that have gone down in sports over the course of the last, doesn't matter how long. LeBron signing in Miami, LeBron signing with the Lakers. Think of any other sport. Go to any other sport, and I'm just kind of trying to think off my head like a big-time free agent. Shaq coming to play for the Los Angeles Lakers. Think of, and I'm not talking trade. I'm talking about somebody that's a free agent. It's going to make a decision on where they're going to go. Shohei's was so odd because nobody could get any information. No one could get anything. Shohei's was, I don't know where he's going to go. Nobody had any idea what was going to happen. I always thought it was going to be the Dodgers because the market size, the chance of winning basically every single year. And when I say winning is you're going to make the playoffs. And then, you got to go make a run from there. And when the rumors were starting to come that it might be somewhere else, or that kind of that conversation in the chatter that he's going to end up with a different team, it's like, damn, that came out of nowhere. I think everybody just didn't want to see him re-sign with the Angels because if winning was important to him, well, you can't go back to the Angels. Figure out where else you're going to go, but it can't be the Angels. Crazy 24 hours or so, but Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers, and obviously it's the rich getting richer. The Dodgers are already unbelievable, and when I say unbelievable, they got one of the best farm systems in all of Major League Baseball. They got all-star after all-star. Their front office is really, really, really smart. Sometimes I think maybe even too smart for their own good, where everything just becomes a statistic. And it's like, no, we just make decisions off our numbers. It's like, all right, probably should have a little bit of gut in this, but it seems like everything they do is just on paper. They got the resources. They got the market. They already have a really good team. They're in the mix every single year. They got a crop of farm system guys. And now you're just adding by far the best player in the world on that Dodgers team. And the dude cracked the 700 million mark. That's insane. Obviously this is going to be the conversation for quite a bit here moving forward. As somebody who is a San Diego Padres fan, I don't know how the hell they're going to compete. I gotta be honest with you, how's anybody going to compete? I know in the playoffs, everything's a crapshoot. Anything can happen, but I don't understand how anyone's going to compete with the Los Angeles Dodgers, because I don't think they're going to stop with just the Shohei signing. I think they're going to go. I guess his money is deferred, which basically means they're not going to be paying him as much up front now. He's going to be making more money as the contract goes down the road, which will give them more flexibility now to go make moves. They have a lot of youngsters if they want to go trade for pitching or whatever the case is. I don't know how anybody's going to compete with him. I really don't. I have no idea. Now, baseball, you could sit back and say, well, look, you got the Arizona Diamondbacks. They come out of nowhere. You got the Nationals. You got, Washington Nationals winning a World Series. I get all that, but that's just so much freaking talent. It's insane. And I don't know how anybody is going to hang with them. They won a fake trophy because they can't win a real one. Listen, I'm sure part of the motivation is they want to go get a real one. They're in the mix every year. And the Dodgers are known more for their collapses in the playoffs than they are their success in the playoffs. And Shohei is clearly what they're trying to let me tell you, if this happens, whether it's this upcoming season or the next season, if Shohei with the Dodgers wins a World Series, Shohei's going to get all the credit. That it's almost for Shohei Ohtani. It's almost kind of genius from him as well, because the Dodgers are in the mix every year, but they have not won a championship since 1988 other than 2020 in a 60-game season. I'm not taking it away from them, but it's not the same as, obviously other World Series. Shohei wins one with the Dodgers. Everyone's going to look at Shohei and say, well, we only won because of him, right? Like his legendary status also grows if that actually ends up happening. Okay, here's kind of something funny. David saying, I think we got Ohtani on the cheap. Can I tell you something? $700 million. I was talking about this with Michael Thompson. The $700 million, Michael was trying to say, well, he's basically Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole. Take those two contracts, combine them. He's the best pitcher, best hitter. He should be getting $80 million a year. That was kind of his justification. Whatever he got paid, they're going to make the money back in a couple of years, in my personal opinion. The sponsorships, the season tickets, God knows what they're going to charge for the tickets now. They can charge whatever the hell they want. People are going to buy. The international interest, they already got obviously an unbelievable TV deal on Spectrum. Yeah, that's my point is I don't know who the hell is going to beat them. I really don't. You a Padres sleeve? Yes. So born and raised in San Diego, California. So 100% a San Diego Padre fan. And let's just say not looking too good, guys. That's going to be a very, 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 very rough, not just for the Padres, the entire division. I mean, not even the entire NL. Now, look, the Braves are going to ball out. Philly's going to ball out. There's other teams out there that are obviously really good, but they're freaking adding Shohei Ohtani to already a stacked team that has Walker Buehler coming back eventually. And they're going to improve their pitching. Dodgers need pitching. They're going to get it. Yeah, they're going to spend anything possible to go win. Shout out to Cam's defense. That's what I'm talking about. That. Shout out to Cam's defense. Cam Reddish is the man. That dude plays hard. Ohtani is a brand of himself. No question about it. Pitching for 350, batting for 350. I will tell you this. He's not going to pitch next year. So, Okay, I think we're good, Laker fans. I think we did a great job today. I appreciate everybody's participation. I appreciate everybody hanging out for 1 hour. I've never gone 1 hour. I just saw the on StreamYard the thing that I use, the program that I use. It says 100. Never seen one of those. But this was fun tonight. It was great to watch the Lakers do what they did through this entire tournament. They're playing good basketball. I think that's obviously incredibly important. They look good. They look like they're moving in the right direction. And to sit on here and talk about all that for an hour is a pleasure doing it. And I appreciate you guys hanging out for that long. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Enjoy your Sunday. I'll be back on Tuesday after the Lakers game. I have Lakers Talk on radio on Monday. I got my regular radio show on Monday. So if you guys want to go check that out, you could go to 710 ESPN or just on the ESPN LA app. Thanks for being a part of the show. Hope you guys have a good weekend, and we'll get with you guys soon. Thanks, Laker fans.